Greetings, everybody. Welcome to World Bakery Rotary. I think we're going to have Renee do our pledge and holy pets. Come on up, Renee. Start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the 4 week test. Number 1,
Is it true?
Number 2,
Is it fair to all concerned?
Number 3,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
and number 4.
Will it build beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. Inspiration. Here you are.
From boredom to humor to abject terror and hope-filled dreams are some of the words describing Anne Frank's young life. With that said, today's inspiration is from the diary of Anne Frank. It's difficult in times like these. Ideals, dreams, and cherished hopes rise within us, only to be crushed by grim reality. It's a wonder I haven't abandoned all my ideals. They seem so absurd and impractical. Yet I cling to them because I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are truly good at heart. The Anne Frank Diary.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move to visiting Rotarians. Can you raise your hand? Introduce yourself. No? Okay, how about Rotarians?
John's voting.
Do you want to come up, Sean? Do you just want to, or you want to hit with my hair? That's the whole problem.
So, and he doesn't want to get up at 6:00 in the morning, so I told him Thursday he's at best time. He's got the paperwork.
Great, welcome, Don. You want to know?
This is Donna Rhodes. My sense of his birth is the second time visiting with her.
Third.
Glad to have her with us. And I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Welcome, Donna. We're excited that you're interested in joining the club. Anyone else? Okay, let's have anyone else. Let's come on up and we'll take a queue over here. Come on up, Jim.
Hello, everybody. Update on the Cozumel drinking water project, the rainwater collection. 100% of the club cash has been received. That's $15,500 between everybody that's involved with this, which means that now our DDF matching from District 5110 of $23,000 should be coming in, along with $18,400 from the World Fund, which will meet the $56,900 project. As soon as the money comes in, we will then pay part of it as deposits for the whole entire project, and this thing goes forward. I will keep everybody up to date about it. We're talking about $1,000 additional that we can put into it, but as it progresses, it may become real tight on some money, and I may be up there asking for some help. Hopefully I won't be, but I might be.
Congratulations, Jim, and the rest of the grant committees. In the back on the pool table, this is just an announcement that those of you who like to picnic or need a styrofoam ice chest, there's a small, I get eye drops in these ice chests in the summertime. So if you need or want one, just come first serve. There's a little one of those bags that you can freeze inside of it, and it's still in pretty good shape. You know,
Okay, so I announced this last week, I'm announcing it once more today. If anybody who wants a name badge like this, they're $12. I'm gonna place the order after today's meeting. There's a sign up sheet back on the pool table, so if you haven't signed up and you want one, please do that today. Thanks.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Thank you, very good. See you later. Okay, I wanted to give you guys a sneak preview, we had voted to give some of our extra funds for the mural to the committee on public art. And we just chose the next two boxes, and, these aren't for public yet, but look at this, and it's so cute, it's called Horsing Around. Isn't that sweet? And then the next one's.
Hold on.
And that one's called Creator Commons. And we have enough money for at least two more, but it's kind of a cumbersome process. But it's really exciting. And then I want to show you, we also did something called, we're working on something called the piano project. And someone donated an old piano to us, and this is right now in the visitors center and below, in the building below the hive, or where the hive is. It won't be there forever, but an artist has been painting it. It's very cool. And it will be indoors and outdoors for various people to be able to play on. And we want to keep this going. Isn't it cool? Okay. That was the sneak preview. I think Steve Rose can introduce our guest. Come on up, Steve.
Our speaker today, I don't think requires a lot of introductions, but it's Terry Hopkins. And I know Terry from, well, the big Thomason days, the restaurant, was kind of the regional manager for all of Dave's restaurants, like Elmer's and that type of thing. And then he went to work for the Oregon Restaurant Association. And now he's come back. So he doesn't have to do a lot of traveling to the become the president and CEO of the Grants Pass Josephine County Chamber of Commerce. And Joseph was a previous member of our club, moved to Wyoming. That created the opening, and I think the committee made a wise choice. And Terry's going to talk a little bit about himself, the past, present, and future, as well as what he's looking forward for the Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Terry.
Yeah, as Steve mentioned, I look forward to presenting to this club more, and I do certainly realize that Josie was a member, and so I'm a little bit of what I tell you today might be stuff that you know, but just kind of resetting the groundwork for me. As Steve mentioned, I'll give a little bit of who I am, my history, and how that ties into some agreements that I had to have signed, whether that was Tom and Greg, Don Welsh, because I've grown up in this community for a long time and spent the night, I think, at both of their houses in my life when I was a young man. What? So there's a few things that they might be able to tell you outside of the meeting. But yeah, as I mentioned, I've grown up in Grants Pass, proud Grants Pass High School graduate. I got a full-ride scholarships to go into engineering. And during high school and my career as I started off in college, I was always working in the restaurant industry because it allowed me to work evenings, and I love talking to people. You'll find that out about me. Talking is never a problem. And it gave me money to, although I had the scholarships, to provide for housing and books. And quite honestly, I just got in the industry because I wanted to buy a car. It was the first place that would hire me. And I accomplished that goal. But as I went through college, I continued to work in the service and hospitality industry, and doors began to open. And I stayed with that industry instead of with engineering, and I don't regret that. I really enjoyed it. I got to learn a lot about culture and people. I worked for a company that I was able to travel around. I worked in California and Salt Lake and Colorado, and Idaho, and other parts of Oregon. But on that journey, I met my wife, and it wasn't much of a decision of where we should settle down and raise our family. And it was that time to Grants Pass that we came. That was about 22 years ago. Still married to my wife after 22 years. She puts up with me for that long, so she should get a round of applause at the end of this. And then we had two beautiful boys. Unfortunately, my oldest passed away to cancer, so I am at the age of 5 with no childhood leukemia. I still stay very active in advocating for children with cancer. If you've heard of Katie's Kids in this community, that's named after my son, and really try to do a lot to help families that have gone through what I did. And then my youngest is now 6'5", and stationed in Pensacola, Florida, serving our country through the United States Coast Guard. And yeah, I'm super proud of that. If you can, I get to go to Pensacola. I didn't go visit on the sand beaches, and being in Pensacola is not a bad thing. And so very proud of him. His goal to get into the Coast Guard because he's interested in law enforcement. His goal is to come back and serve the city of Grants Pass as law enforcement, but he's well with the Coast Guard. So now he's debating on maybe staying in for 20. And as much as and we'll talk about this a little bit more, you know, his desire to go to law enforcement now evolved a little bit and realizing the threat to cybersecurity. So he's going to move to Petaluma, California, and focus on IT and cybersecurity. But back to me on the career path, to continue to stay in the hospitality. It really drove so many of the passions for me. One, it gave me an opportunity to engage, learn about different cultures. I always believed in breaking bread and learning about people, about their cultures, about their background over the dinner table. And much of what I learned came through those experiences. And it fueled my passion for entrepreneurial spirit as well. You know, here locally, I have owned several restaurants. I really had the pleasure of being partners in the old original brewery when we did the Sunday brunches and lunch buffets, and was partners with Rob Andrew there. I had the pleasure of opening River's Edge when we converted from Hamilton River House. I helped open it as the River's Edge. And then as Steve mentioned, I was Dave Thomason's president for 10 years. I helped grow that company from 5 locations to 44. And then decided to go back out on my own and open Steam Distillery. I recently sold my shares in Steam Distillery for 2 reasons. One, and my wife will tell you, I'm not going to do this, but I do try and slow down a little bit. I've worked 70 hours most of my life. She's challenged me to see if I can hold 2 sticking 40. She's probably right, I won't. But it really does allow me to focus on my job here at the chamber. And, you know, so in that restaurant world, and what fueled me to get into the chamber work was that I had that passion and wanted to get back to other entrepreneurs and people in the industry. So I took some time and worked for the Oregon Restaurant and Lodging Association. We're much like the chamber. We focus on advocacy, education, communication, empowering young entrepreneurs or helping people that are maybe struggling in their own businesses, create systems and procedures. And I love it. Again, this is the industry that I grew up in, got to give back some of the knowledge that I have learned. But my territory was huge. I mean, I traveled from Salem down to Ashland over to Bend in that same line on the coast. And the work that I did was amazing, but I was gone a lot. And I had been a member of the chamber for 25 years. And so honestly, when we found out Josephine was leaving, much like the rest of you, I'm sure I was heartbroken, knowing the impact that she had on our community and my business and myself. And I knew it was big shoes to fill. And at first, I didn't get much consideration, but I was approached by quite a few members of the community saying, Terry, would you step up and do this? And the more I thought about it, and I went in and met with their staff to see, because I believe in promotion from within, to see if anybody was on staff that was wanting to do it. And they were really happy where they were at and just looking for another leader. And so I put my name in the hat, and after quite an extensive interview process, I'm proud to be standing here in front of you, and really the piece for me is getting to come back home. You know, when I was on the road doing this work, if I went to a Rotary club, of course, I would know a few of the business people, I know a few of the elected leaders, I would know a few people. But getting to come home and do this work when I walked into the wild rivers that I've grown up with my whole entire life, and seeing people like Tommy that I've known since I was a little guy, really feels right. It really, really feels right. And having the understanding of where our community's been, where we're at, and the potential that we have in controlled growth, you know, with such strategic planning, really fuels my fire. And I'm quite honored to be standing here in this position. So on the part that you probably know just a little bit about, but it ties into my walk, you know. I didn't come into this position saying, oh my gosh, you know, I want to make wholesale changes, let's change the direction of the chamber. I came in having the experience and the groundwork that Josephine and the team had laid. And so this is an amazing organization that does great things in our community. The staff is solid, projects that they've chosen for my personal values. And I really look forward to taking that torch, picking it up and keeping the ship pointing in the direction that it started. And of course, taking some opportunities to build on a solid foundation. So with that, we'll go next slide and get into the slide a little bit. I will go over slides and again, if it's sensible to tell you stuff that you know, but ultimately leave it up for some questions at the end, because this is going to be pretty basic level stuff. But it is, again, the foundation of what got me. And it started with the simple mission of the Chamber of Commerce to support the Vermont Commerce and communication advocacy and partnership. I mean, communication advocacy and partnerships is what is building my career. It's what drives me personally in communication and relationships that I've worked over time. And really at the most basic level it was, okay, you know, we're starting at the right place. Our mission to values line up with something I would love to represent. So, and then, so how, you know, and then I took a look, not only as a mission, and then everybody got a mission, right? And if not, we'll talk more about ChatGPT on another time. Get a good mission statement, but it's kind of the tie into the work that you do. I really started, again, having known and been a member for 25 years and took a look at the programs that are going on. I really took over a fantastic time because it was right as lemonade days that did the kick off. And I know a lot of you were involved, so thank you. But down to the core values of the chamber that put in my life, 300 kids, over 80 stands, countless volunteer hours, my staff, our ambassadors, the folks in this room who volunteered as judges, got to take these young, inspiring entrepreneurs alongside of us. And we did, I mean, they did business plans with bankers. They did marketing plans with myself. We had customer service with another department and food safety and sanitation, just all the way through. It wasn't just that, hey, kids go sell lemonade and make some money. They got to meet with local nonprofits, and each of these kids gave back to their community. So really learning the core fundamental values of what it takes to be a part of your community, to run a business. And I mean, we're talking about 10 years, 10 and 12 years. Again, I know a lot of you are rapping, but it was a magical day. And what we got to accomplish in building that confidence in our future tomorrow. The folks are going to be sitting in this room when we are. And it was really wonderful to be part of. The other one that the chamber's done for 39 years, so certainly no credit of my own, but giving back to the community, that community development piece. This year we hosted our 39 Concerts in the Park series. Wonderful attendance for the events. We didn't cancel one, but it was rescheduled due to heat. And so again, just whether it's that cultural piece, the giving back, family friendly events, every single concert in the park, we focus on making sure that there's a kids activity. As y'all know, concerts is free anyway, but a free kids activity that engages families to come together and spend a little bit of time as a community. We're very grateful for the partnership we've had for the last few years with the Josephine County Fairgrounds, but very, very happy to announce the Concerts in the Park will be returning to Riverside Park. It should be a Concerts in the Park. Coming on that, it was not planned this way, but you know, maybe we'll do this, and this will really give us as a community an opportunity to celebrate our park, celebrate each other as a community, and really get back to what this meant. Next up is maybe starting to lead a little bit more into the future and my plans of where things go. But the chamber's also had a business retention and expansion committee for quite some time. One of the most important functions of this committee is to do the business survey, where you take the pulse of what's going on, what successes can we celebrate, what challenges do we face, and what can we do as a community, and specifically for me as the Chamber of Commerce, to support business retention and expansion in our community. And then we identify a few red flag issues. And while that survey is vitally important, it is a lot more than just taking business input and dissecting it and identifying these. It's what can we do in turn then to move the needle. And so I have relaunched the program that has happened maybe a few years, quite a few years ago, and that is the Perspectives. Our first one is on September 10th. I've left flyers on the table. And if you haven't got the opportunity, please go. This one, again, as a result of this survey, is focused on childcare and really identifying that workforce development is a big bucket, right? And I know folks in this room are working on that. But when we dial down into workforce development and workforce availability, sure, there's training, there's recruiting. But really, we identified the fact that 52% of businesses said that they have their workforce development has been impacted by childcare or lack of childcare in one way or another. You know, obviously, I think we all know that I would say the words would be the childcare business. Timing for me worked out quite nice in that there are grants available. There are amazing partners who are coming together to make this happen. So the chamber will host on September 10th for their hotel irrespective of events. It's not geared for people just in the child care industry. However, if they are, we're going to help empower them to grow. Talk about maybe what it takes to get certified to work in that industry, but really be able to address the concerns of us as a community and really as a larger business community. And so we'll have a panel of local experts ranging from Southern Oregon Early Learning Services, the YMCA, we'll have the Department of Human Services. On the panel, we'll have a parent who's a business professional in sound, and you probably know, who made a career change in her own mind because of lack of availability in childcare. And then we'll have a moderated discussion on that. And so I ask, please, it's $20 to attend for chamber members, serving not a great opportunity to really meet the need all of those big five issues. As you reboot perspectives, and there'll be one that's coming. I've already had people approach me about topics including broader workforce development, cybersecurity, and cultural development. So we will continue to work on those as well. So next piece, and again, it says telling stuff, and you know, the Chamber of Commerce operates the North Visiting Center at Grants Pass. We have 11 incredible volunteers. We host quite a few events. The boardroom up there, Rotary District Planning meeting has been meeting up there. And so really well, there's relocation packages, people visiting our community and trying to partner with them and fix us for them to get next slide. And really just offering that first impression of Grants Pass as people come in. For the last couple of years, I think it was presenting on this. We got the electric charging station, and really just focus on the welcoming first impressions of all of those who come in. It is another name you might know, Shirley Lewis, we hired on last year, and is our office assistant, and she helps head up an amazing crew of volunteers, 11 active volunteers right now. Just a little side note, we are looking for additional volunteers. They work 1 day a week, 4 hours a day, and it is taken advance. We have a great time. We get to talk to people coming in from all over, ask them why they're here, what they like to do, and we get to play matchmaker on all of the wonderful things that STAS has to offer, and point them in the right direction, and just learn a little bit about how they got here and what their desires are. So, in that time, this is just a, I think Josephine does an annual snapshot. I just wanted to give you July. Well, we got to visit 400 people just coming into the visitor center to learn more about our community. I create email communications consistently every month, reach over 3,500 people in the open rate. It's the best I've ever seen, whether it's my own private business or nonprofits. So it's a really great content the team has been putting out there. Social media reach at 20,000, and our website gets at 150,000. I will put a little asterisk there because web-generated content. Right now, some people believe that all media is good media. Not sure, but with the injunction and the Supreme Court ruling, city of Grants Pass have over 1 billion hits on media. So I'm not sure I will reserve my opinion on whether that's a good thing or not. So beyond how I got here, what the chamber's been doing, I've had a lot of people say, hey, what's your hope and vision for the chamber in the future? And I hope I've expressed the fact that it is to keep the chamber where it's at, continue to engage with our local nonprofits, continue to engage on community development, but maybe really take an advanced focus on what is economic development. Chamber really being the voice of local businesses. How can we help improve, recruit, and quite honestly, in an environment where a lot of people think Oregon is not always a business-friendly state, how can we help move the needle in our local community to make sure that we're providing jobs and meaningful jobs there. We'll do that through strategic planning. We'll do that through education. Again, that ties back into perspectives a little bit. We've identified that there are some amazing resources that we will continue to partner with, whether that's RCC, the Small Business Development Center, BBSI, a lot of strategic partners and events I'm sitting in this room. But there is a little bit of a gap. Our Young Professionals Network does amazing things. Small Business Development Center has a great small business management program, but there's a little bit of a gap. If you are just kicking off your supervisory management career and you don't own your own business yet, which sometimes small business management course will help you, how do we get that middle ground moving up into some supervisory, managerial, business ownership type roles? And so a leadership class is certainly on our radar. Continuing to work with folks like yourselves in the business survey and develop that perspective, and again, not to just talk about problems, but identify solutions and move the needle in several different areas. And then really one that I just started since being here, it's a little bit exciting, but the Main Street program is something that is nationwide. We do have an Oregon Main Street program, and we are on a steering committee right now that takes a look to see what the feasibility of having a Main Street program in Red's Pass looks like. Now, you ask, well, what does that mean? It's Main Street. I mean, obviously, it would be a representation of downtown Red's Pass. We're still kind of identifying, draw that on a map. And for some people, that means the historic corridor of G Street. For some people, that means from A to the river. But identifying that, and the key there is that it allows some public-private partnerships, but again, it allows to move the needle. There are some grants currently available for the folks that been around downtown long enough to remember when that second story of those historic buildings were usable spaces. Seismic retrofitting, ADA compliance. There are so many barriers to get those back to where they need to be. And for so many reasons, it's the right thing to do. I mean, it's the revitalization of downtown. It's solving, not solving, but it's a piece of the puzzle in our housing. If there's living units up there, it does allow a little bit of traffic in those areas. So maybe where businesses close at 5 and nobody's down there, we can have some good people downtown, encouraging that to be a little bit more positive activity. So the Main Street organization would have an opportunity to take a look at revitalizing those upper level floors. Right now, the steering group would also focus on bringing them back to the 50s and the cruise and see those events back down into Grants Pass. They would step in and help with events like along the road. We have the First Friday, and then there are some also further grants available that would be putting me on arts, culture, and diversity, and how we can strengthen that. So again, just another one of those things that checks all of the boxes for us. Beyond the building, as I mentioned, Josephine laid a pretty solid foundation, and it really is about community and the piece that brought me here. But it's the partnerships. It takes us all working together, connecting those dots. We have our Government Affairs Committee. We will be happy to continue with the candidate forums on October 15th and 17th. October 15th, we will be hosting the races for the city mayor, city council, in council chambers starting at 6 o'clock. And then on October 17th, we will be hosting the candidates vying for the county commissioner position. You'll be able to see those live and in person. We will also stream them to YouTube and our Facebook channel. If folks have input on what kind of questions you want to hear from the candidates, I will have some communication going out and welcome your concerns and asking our candidates how they feel like they can best represent our community. As mentioned, our Business Retention and Expansion Committee meets monthly. That's the one that identifies the red flag issues and has helped me build out the perspective program. The Professionals Network, while maybe not as good as the Lemonade Day, is actually a very vibrant and active club. They are doing cleanups, they're doing education pieces. Later this month, they'll be at RCC learning about the bond measure that's there and how RCC can continue to develop workforce in our town. So for folks that are interested in professionals. It's a great opportunity. We engage in the Community Economic Development Committee, which to me is very important because having our elected leaders at the county level and city level working together, communicating, being able to be communicated by the constituents is huge. And so building bridges there, through both the city and county in making that economic development piece come together as one, is huge. And so I stay active on that one. Tourism Advisory Committee, obviously moving from the old Baldwin town and to hospitality and tourism that is driving much of our economy. It's something that I've been on for 12 years, so we continue to work on there. Helping James bolster downtown merchant meetings, and again, hopefully that evolves into a Main Street program without even just coming together to discuss issues. That's something that we can move forward and have a few items on how we come together to make this a viable downtown. As after the public safety funding group, we met this morning with a couple of counselors and are proposing an advisory committee to the city of Grants Pass to continue to monitor what the best avenues for funding our public safety and making sure that our officers that involved with the resources have the resources and funding available to do the work, but also at the same time be very conscientious of spending in tax dollars. And then finally, it's a little bit of fear. I mean, this is an opportunity for me to introduce myself. I'm doing this with our membership, with local nonprofits, with our local elected leaders. But it's you'll learn about myself for those who don't know me. It's not me standing up here telling me what my strategic plan is. It's me allowing you to get to know me because I'm a collaborative work together. Let's come together as a community and to figure this out together. And so at that, I will open it up. I know I went pretty quick through there. I always need to go faster on the microphone. Thank you for practicing. But in that sense of collaboration and hearing from you, you know who I am. My door is open. If the final slide after we pass through this one, I'll give my personal cell phone, my email, but my door at the Chamber of Commerce is always open. I love the work that Josephine did. I understand how big a shoes I have to fill, and I think I'm up for the task, but it's for you all to engage with me as I take my opportunity.
Real great, and someone in our group suggested that we have people who have questions come up, so we don't have round the mic around, and if you wouldn't mind doing that, so the people on Zoom can hear, come on up if you have questions, make a little cue.
I would take my favorite.
Come on up. Thank you.
All I would like to know is when we're open up to.
Into the mic.
We can't even hear you.
We can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Up to the mic.
I was just asking, why do these come up G Street office? That's.
Great question. And it's something that I didn't completely understand, even being on Tourism Advisory Committee for a very long time. And I hope I answered the question because downtown, the one that's been under construction, the Visitor Information Center is run and operated by the city of Grants Pass. And I'm at the one off the north end of town off of the freeway, Visitor Information Center there. It's a pretty unique agreement that we have. The city owned that property, the Chamber paid to build the building, we had a dollar a month lease or something. But that property is leased, and although during our trainings, our customer service trainings, when we're talking about where we're directing tourists and guests, we come together so that we have consistent messaging. But the G Street location is city-owned city staff, and the one at the north end is chamber-owned chamber staff. Hopefully our messaging is consistent. Because if you don't know the difference, we might be winning. And if you don't want to stand up, I don't mind running the microphone.
That's fine. That's great. Pull that. It's hard to pull out. Pull it up. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, welcome. Here's a card for John later. And my question has to do with the new funding drive for the Grants Pass Library for the local branch. Have you had any initial, I know it's new, but have you had any initial contact and any plans to include that with the Chamber of March?
Okay, the answer is yes, and again, this is really where I love having this position, because again, when I was available in other cities, I might really have to catch up, but I live here, and I have for many years. Kate Lassie is currently our board chair, and so I work with her quite closely every day. Of course, although I'm the president and CEO, procedurally, I'm overseen by a board. And so the bond measure for RCC is coming before our Government Affairs Committee next month. And then anything with RCC will also be going through that committee, but we do stay on top of those. And again, behind the scenes, having lots of communications. For the chamber to take an official experience of those to Government Affairs Board, and then us, yes, actively engaging with. Yeah, community development, workforce development, education, it checks all the boxes that I always should be. So thank you for that. I was not in the question.
Not today. Well, thank you. Yeah. I think Sergeant's and then we invite Greg Fishwick up, he's gonna lead us and do happy box and then do our drawing.
Inside. Thank you, Jean. I'm gonna have to put everything over. We're gonna have a table competition, because we just, got updated and learned a little bit about Terry, and we're going to just the county, Chamber of Commerce, but what do we know about the United States Department of Commerce? That's what we're gonna find out. I'm gonna give out, I'm gonna need 6 tables, so a couple of the tables we have to move together. Can I ask Tina Marie and Judy to do the Zoom folks?
Yep.
To the table. I'm gonna give each table a list of 6 agencies that are within the U.S. Department of Commerce, and 6 summaries of their mission statement or responsibilities. Your job will be to match the 6 descriptions with the 6 agencies. So, I think that these tables are so full, there's 2 tables, if you guys can merge into 2, and you guys can merge into 1, and then we'll have the electronic. Let me pass these around, and remember, no telephones, and 4-way chess. The winning table of tables will be able to share the Unreal prize that's packed in the old Dr. Insulated sack to give you a boost. Okay.
All right. You wanna come up this way? We'll have to do it via chat for James and Lisa, because we won't be able to hear. I know, it's well, right, so we're
Supposed to match the description.
Yeah. Okay. You're keeping the paper.
Okay, if you can assign somebody to draw the lines between which agencies go with which descriptions, and then raise your hand when your table is finished. We will get back with the correct answers when all the tables are finished. So we're gonna have to use a chat.
I don't know.
We can take off on what we from, because they have, you know, the podcast. Should be. I don't know, it's easy. But- A lot of support. Yes.
Oh, I just go to too.
It's like the same thing. Yes, that's track two gets them.
This is so great. James.
There would be some.
She's typing it in. But it's interesting. They're not so.
Try to make.
The weather was. Yes. Yeah, no. I'd rather. The judge. He said.
Simplify.
We got that.
But my wife is- Trying to get James comments, so. I didn't feel the mission that she-
Oh.
she's at the-
No, it's awesome. Okay, we're ready?
Well, one table's.
Oh, one table.
Poor Gina Marie hasn't even touched them all.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
You
I
gotta.
was thinking we could have done a screenshot or something.
Oh,
Yeah, but then I have no way to get it up there.
Oh, okay.
yes, it's okay, it's all.
You have had.
Well, table finished. Thank you, Mary.
Can I borrow your pen? You want to do it?
John, table buildings. Close?
Finished.
We still work what we do on this thing. We're just going in.
Now we're not done.
We should have, you should have given us a heads up. Yeah, you're right. Well, then why didn't you give us a little paragraph?
Because I don't get
Okay, are we gonna wrap it up?
You should have got more prizes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Resident Judy suggestion, so we're gonna get ready to put the correct answers. There's six tables and there's six, no, and you're your own. Yeah, basically. There's six tables and there's six answers. So why don't we have each table do a little report? And we'll save the Zoom table for last. You have some time to communicate. We'll start over here with Mary and Debbie and you guys at this table. The first department, what's the first department on the list? Census Bureau on the top. What did you pick as the mission or responsibilities for the Census Bureau?
It produces data to aid decisions, the bottom, lower right hand side, the last plus. It produces data.
Anybody else put something different? Yeah. What did you guys say?
Measures and disseminates information record road sign advancement and performance.
That is correct. Okay, while you're there, Jim, so the correct answer to the Zoom group, sorry, I'll use the mic. It's, U.S. Census Bureau measures and disseminates information about the nation's economy and society, fostering economic growth and advancing scientific understanding and facilitating informed decisions. I have a little longer version, on my answer sheet. So Jim, while you're there, what's the second one down on the left side? Bureau of Economic Analysis. What do you think the Bureau of Economic Analysis is?
They produce data to make that policymakers content.
True. So the Bureau of Economic Analysis produces economic indicators such as gross domestic product, aka GDP, corporate profits and trade balance that directly affect decisions made by policymakers, business leaders, and the American public. Okay, John, two Johns, what's the third one down on the left? The third agency.
National Oceanographic and Atmospheric.
Oh, the easy one. Yeah. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Warning, climate monitoring, and support the marine.
Right. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration provides weather forecasts, storm warnings, climate monitoring, for fisheries management, coastal restoration, and the support of the marine products. Okay, each table hasn't done one yet. You guys done? You guys? Yeah, you haven't done one. What's the next one down? Yeah, what's the next one down?
You missed the
Oh,
third.
did I miss one?
Yeah.
Okay, go back. Did you go back one? The National Trade.
International.
The International Trade Commission. And what did you say they did?
Said it, but they drive innovation.
I'm sorry, what? Wait, say that again?
He doesn't have the same list. He doesn't have the same list.
Thanks, yeah, I have a different list.
How could you have a different?
No, because I have a full, well, I have a pretty long version of the website, I had to narrow it down so you get someone else. So, I think that's.
It has to be the only one that's international and global.
Okay, so I think that was the
That's right.
correct answer. International, that's good. The International Trade Administration's mission is to create prosperity by strengthening the international competitiveness of U.S. industry, promoting trade and investment, and ensuring fair trade or compliance with trade laws and agreements.
Nice.
Yes.
Anybody else have all four correct so far? Any other tables? Oh, man. Okay, so we're on 95. Which table haven't had a chance to answer this? Oh, Rayla and Brendan and Kelly, your table? That is correct. The National Telecommunication and Information Administration expands broadband internet access and adoption of ensures that internet acts as an engine for innovation and economic growth and addresses many of the nation's most pressing needs such as improving education, healthcare, and public safety. So the last one for the Zoom folks was the U.S. Patent and Trade Office's mission, which is to drive U.S. innovation, inclusive capitalism, and global competitiveness. Okay, let's see what you want.
Bring out another one, you know?
I told you this slide was unreal. Let's see, we have all the cards sold, all the cards are sold, so Terry, number deck up.
Here's your deck.
I know, but
Yeah.
I want somebody to
Happy,
blow it.
don't forget happy bucks too.
Oh, thank you, Ray. First happy bucks, then I know Bailey.
Well, I guess if it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Greg is referring to is my oldest is in the golf tournament at GP and managed to stay in the, it's the non-handicapped flight, and I think he won a whopping $15. I don't know if that's that because our youngest just left yesterday heading back to school in New York, which is way too far away.
Yeah.
They have golf in New York.
No.
Just go to the stuff, Tony.
I had 5 happy bucks. We had a great cruise. Everyone needs to go to Iceland and Greenland. Iceland should have been called Greenland, and Greenland should have been called Iceland. But in a couple weeks, I'm going to sergeant at arms, and I've got some interesting food things for that.
Thanks, Debbie.
Well, so we went on a fishing trip and caught over 100 fish, none of which we could keep. But awesomeness times awesomeness. We were in the middle of a huge outer school of whales, and one was so close. We're going, aren't we a bit close? And it was just right there, and none of them actually had their head totally out, but you know, they were blowing, and one was just right there, and I didn't realize their blowhole was actually 2 nostrils. But they were right there. But it was amazing.
Margaret managed to Hawaii to see my younger daughter who lives there. She went on a whale watching tour, and we got in the boat, which was like a rubber raft with an engine. And I kind of pretty. Why wouldn't the whale just like bump us with its head and knock us over? Anyway, we did get kind of close to some. Jody,
Sorry, I'm still eating my candy. I am so happy to say to that this should have been my last year of having to be a 12-hour officer in charge of fair in 100 and whatever degree days. So hallelujah, I shouldn't have to be there for 12 hours.
is it that they stopping or that they're gonna reduce the shifts to 10 hours?
Actually, I have been an officer on the board, and that's one of our duties as a volunteer.
Mhm. That's for the posse? Right.
Yes.
Okay, who else? There.
So I had a question from earlier. When are the concerts gonna return to Riverside? Is that next summer? That's great. Okay. Also, we have a friend that has a twin bed, gently used, mattress and frame and some dishes and a third thing. I didn't write it down. And they're free. If anyone has a need or a use for that, so we could talk after. And then what else? Oh, Jim, before you leave, we took our car to your son's business, Star Automotive, and he worked on our car. Great business and reasonable prices. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Who else? Anybody? Okay, so now Terry, we get to pick out a card. Don't pick it. What'd you get? The 9 of clubs. The 9 of clubs.
That's it. You got it. Caver. Caver.
So, who's,
Caver.
so, okay.
We'll get the money, sure.
Okay. 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 Well, you can tell her she lost. Well, thank you to everybody for today. Reader Pat Bath, Renee Armbruster for Pleasant Four-Way, Tess, Mary Millard for inspiration, Steve Rowe for introducing our guests, and Greg for doing really a super fun sergeant thing. How many of you remember Gilda Radner? So today's thought for the day came from Gilda Radner. Life is about not knowing, having to change, taking the moment and making the best of it, without knowing what's going to happen next. Delicious ambiguity. See you next week.